Welcome back to my channel. We're doing something different because this is my fairy journal of enchantment. This journal was designed by Lucy Cavendish, as you can see. So what we're going to do is read the parts that were already in the journal, not my parts because that's private, and look at the beautiful illustrations of what fairies don't look like in real life, but beautiful imagination wise, I guess. Beautiful fairy indeed. O fold in Rosamond's bower, with its peacock hedges of yew, one could never find the flower unless one was given the clue. So take the key of the wicket. Who would follow my fancy free by formal knot and thicket and smooth green sward so fair to see? To be fairy is to be a series of contradictions. It is to be noble and unstudied, natural and dignified, elegant and covered in earth, full of laughter, but utterly serious all at once, and to change between all of these in the blink of an eye. That is to be one of the Fae. Too many humans impose again and again their opinions, even their energy, and a beautiful world they put this energy on, and are reluctant to understand it. If only we can begin to open up and accept the nature of the fairy without our conditioning and expectations that we've continuously been told through childhood. We have to take out those messages imprinted, bring in new ones. We would be better if we had done this before. But you can start now. To be fairy is to live fully, drink deeply, and invite sensuality and conviction into your life on a daily basis. It is to live without putting out that bright spark, that raw essential self that society can sometimes seek to bury, dim, and make you become ashamed of. When the lands of fairy and the human world entwine, all empowered and made more beautiful, the human world becomes more ensouled, and the missing pieces of our broken hearts are found. They're found again in the simplest and sometimes the most powerful of ways. For the fairies, I cannot speak, but it would seem to me that if we have been able to do so much harm, we must be able to bring solution. Creative and compassionate in their place. For where we once harmed them, surely we can heal. Fairy magic in its wildness and its wisdom. It's shamanic in its nature, something wild and unbroken in it brings us what our true self needs, which is not always what we believe we want. We fairy folk are everywhere. We all play our part, and we have earned our place here at the table, with its feast of spirituality, as we are old. The very bones upon us, which other faiths hang their clothes. I have seen the brilliance of fairy performers who draw the veil away and bring the worlds closer. I have seen the sowers of seed who grow back the green world. I have heard the fairy shamans who take us deep below and urge us to climb high in skeleton trees to find the keys to knowledge. When we wear flowers in our hair, our representations of flowers on a magical level. Our thoughts are as a garden, perfumed, natural, wild and often beautiful. We are also crowning ourselves, and in that crowning, we acknowledge our own Queen Nature, the sense that we are the sovereigns in our worlds, the sense that we may have been here before, possibly. They have held their great balls in open air in what is called a fairy ring. For weeks afterwards you can seek the ring on the grass. It is not there when they begin, but they make it by waltzing around and around. Sometimes you will find mushrooms inside the ring. These are the fairy chairs that the servants have forgotten to clear away. The chairs and the rings are the only telltale marks these little people leave behind. And they would remove those if they were not so forgetful. And they are fond, so very fond, of dancing. They tow it till the very moment of the opening of the gates. J.M. Barrie. Peter Pan. For those who are awake and aware, for the fairy people and the old ones, for the new souls being born, fairies create a sense that there is a place for the fragile. And because the fairy will rarely live alone, they are the cure for our isolation and loneliness. It is said that we humans can be reborn as fairies if it's our time to experience this magical form and energy. But it is also said that we do incarnate as a fairy. It will be a long, long time before we incarnate again in another form. Perhaps this truth has given rise to the idea of being trapped in fairyland. It is that form and that energy. It's long and enduring, compared to the brief candlelight that is the human span of years. Fairy is where the folklore and laws are held. Within the stories and the knowledge are the tales of seasons, walking between worlds, the wisdom of flowers, herb healing, the discovery of creativity, and the dangers of seduction. Mind you, think about it. May you have met a person with those qualities? They like just and law. They like stories and tell them well. They are knowledged in many things, but especially in herbs and flowers as such, and things that are of other sides. They are creative and have vision. They like to discover new creativity. And they can be quite seductive. You see, if you meet someone like this, it's very possible you're talking to a fairy in human form. And yes, they are absolutely out there. Maybe you find one day and they will enter your life and your life will be better. Maybe you will find one day and they will remember you from another life and think, you did me wrong then. I'm not going to give you a chance to do me wrong now. But they are out there. They're a little different from normal people, but you can usually spot them a mile away. They shine. They have that shine, and you just know that's a fairy upon the earth. That fairy is here for a reason, and she won't be going anywhere, or he won't be going anywhere until the work is done. So remember that when you're meeting new friends out and about, you just might come across a fairy.